We are the fourth. We are so.
Good evening, Braves fans. I'm Kelsey Wingert, and welcome into the Friday Night Showdown presented to you by Kaiser Permanente. We have an NL East battle here tonight at SunTrust Park, Game 1 versus the Marlins. Chip Carey and Joe Simpson have the call coming up on Fox Sports South right now.
Kelsey, thank you very much. We welcome you to SunTrust Park, where Giancarlo Stanton and Christian Yelich lead the high-flying Miami Marlins to town for the start of a weekend series. The Marlins have won their last 4 series in a row. Freddie Freeman of the Braves will try to stop that starting tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe, welcome back to the ballpark. We're done with the Dodgers. That's certainly good news. But now we've got to take on the Miami Marlins, a club that the Braves have beaten 5 out of 8 times. Tonight, it's R.A. Dickey's turn to start the series. And Joe, R.A. has been awfully good and awfully consistent.
Well, he wants some runs to work with, much like the Braves played against the Dodgers when those were hotly contested games. 5 of the 8 games between these 2 ball clubs playing tonight have been decided by 1 or 2 runs. So a couple of 3 runs for R.A. tonight will go a long way. As you see, he has not been getting a lot of support despite an excellent ERA.
Getting runs against Adam Conley's been tough after he was sent to AAA. He's come back with a vengeance.
He got something figured out with his mechanics down in AAA, and his last 3 outings for New Orleans were outstanding. His last 3 in the big leagues now, outstanding. He's on fire too.
Both these clubs say if they get a good starting assignment, they've got a great chance to win the game. We'll see who comes out on top tonight. It's the Braves and the Marlins, Dickey versus Conley in Game 1 from SunTrust Park. First pitch for the weekend set coming up right after the break. Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves, Game 1 of this weekend series presented by Kaiser Permanente. Big crowd here for Friday night fireworks. Hopefully the Braves will have some fireworks between the white lines and knock off the Marlins for the 6th time in 9 head-to-head meetings. R.A. Dickey's got the ball for Atlanta in Game 1. Joe, historically, he has been dominant when he's faced this Miami ball club.
Yeah, he's got great numbers against them, 10-3, a 2.94 ERA. But more recently, his last 8 starts, excellent, 2-2, a 1.95, as we told you a moment ago, and that was after some starts that were somewhat ugly. He really has cut down on his walks and base runners. That has helped a lot. We'll see tonight if he's able to keep that going here at home, which leads us to his 4 keys to pitching success. Number 1, he's got an opponent in there tonight who has worn him out. Tyler Moore, 4 for 6 with 2 homers, so more is less, let's hope, tonight. And home sweet home. He's been very good here at SunTrust Park, unlike some of his compadres in the starting rotation. He's 5-2 here at home, 6-7 on the year.
The Marlins come in playing arguably their best baseball of the season. Believe it or not, Don Mattingly's team's only 4 games under 500, and they're at 500 against the Eastern Division. D. Gordon is red hot, riding a 13-game hitting streak. He's batting first on their Toyota lineup. Stanton, Yelich, and Ozuna, as good a hitting trio as you'll see. JT Realmuto, one of 5 Marlins already with 100 hits this year. As Joe mentioned, Tyler Moore is at first for the injured Justin Bour. Dietrich at third. Miguel Rojas, the shortstop, and Adam Conley will pitch and bat in the number 9 spot. Big night last night for the Braves in a losing effort. The Dodgers beat them. But Nick Markakis picked up his 2,000th career hit. Ozzie Albies, his first major league hit, a long home run. We'll see what that youngster has in store as he begins to settle in at second base here in the major leagues. That was a fun night despite the score last night.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole series, the whole 7-game series with the Dodgers. They won 4 games to 3. Hotly contested, well played for the most part, all 7 games. It was fun, and I think proved to the Braves they can play with anybody. Get started here in a minute. Now we can start.
With D. Gordon hitting an even 300 for the year. I would assume, Joe, one of the reasons this Marlins club has taken off offensively is that D. Gordon is swinging the bat like he did a couple of years ago all of a sudden.
It pretty much follows suit with him. Huge on base percentage, 469 on base percentage his last 7. And another key would be do your best to keep him off the sacks because he's stolen 40 bases.
1 ball, 1 strike, and fouled away by Gordon. It's 1-2. The 13-game hitting streak is a new career high for D. Gordon. He's got 21 hits in those 13 games. He has yet to record a career hit against R.A. Dickey. And a little number hit slowly toward Albies. He charges, he throws on the run, and got D. Gordon by a step at first base. Good recognition, good result, and there's the first out. Giancarlo Stanton had a month of July for the ages. He hit 12 home runs for Miami, and that doesn't count the home run derby. He had a great month of July, and he's taken off, Joe, since Don Mattingly batted him in the 2nd spot.
He's also changed his stance. You can see he's hitting with a more closed stance in an effort, as we noticed the last time we saw them 2 months ago, to try to hit the ball more to right center.
He hits that one high in the air toward left, but off the end of the bat. And that'll be handled by Sean Rodriguez. Stanton is retired, and there's the 2nd out. So we'll talk about that hitting adjustment for Giancarlo when he comes up his 2nd time around. Here's Christian Yelich. Yelich at 285, 13 homers, 58 driven in. As you said on Braves Live, he's the one Marlin that surprisingly hasn't really had a blistering hot offensive streak yet.
And still hitting 285. But had a good homestand, and he's 4 homers, 11 RBIs his last 10 games.
That fluttered it over the inside corner, and Yelich quickly behind 0-2. If you blink, you might miss a pitch or two in this game. Both Dickey and Adam Conley are very rapid workers. And up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Hitting .406 against Atlanta this year.
Swing and a miss. Dickey retires the Marlins in order. 1-2-3 in the 1st inning. Adam Conley will go to work for the Fish. No score. weekend at SunTrust Park. Who better to lead the first chop of the weekend than Sid Bream? And a one-handed chop.
Yeah.
Let's hope the Braves can use the two-handed chop against Adam Conley, who has been a royal pain in the you-know-what in his career against the Atlanta offense.
Well, you can see by looking at these numbers why we like him so much, because he's been brilliant against the Braves and has 14 straight shutout innings working against Atlanta, and only 2 runs allowed in his last 18 1/3 innings. 89 to 91 fastball, slider, changeup, 6'3", 200-pounder out of Redmond, Washington.
And he throws a first pitch strike to Ender Inciarte.
A lot of elbows and kneecaps coming at you. And there will be a lot of that tonight because he will work quickly.
A shot toward short. Bobbled. Rojas. And he can't get his man. The Marlins are without JT Riddle, who tore up his shoulder. He's going to have surgery and is lost for the year. And this, as Don Mattingly said, is a very important 2-month stretch for Rojas. Can he be an everyday player?
And they traded Echeverria to Tampa. I was just going to say for Conley, if he just gets the Braves to hit the ball somewhere, good chance somebody's going to catch it. I'm glad I didn't get that out before that error, because they lead the National League in defense. That's only their 47th error of the year. Colorado is second. They've made 52.
So Rojas with his 4th opens the door for the Braves. And here's Brandon Phillips playing third base again tonight. Phillips at 286, 8 homers, 38 knocked in. And that just missed outside, ball 2.
Conley got off to such a bad start this year. They sent him to AAA, and he's been there for most of the season. He's only been back for 3 starts, but boy, those 3 starts have been good.
In fact, he's coming off a win against the Reds. He gave up 2 runs in 7 2/3 innings. He had 24 called strikes in that game. So you're right with the kneecaps, the elbows, and really good stuff. Pop fly foul out of play. It's 2 balls and a strike.
And while his fastball is not a mid-90s or better fastball, it plays here because of all the motion he gives you.
Sharply hit to third, surrounded there, out at second, dropped, and safe. D. Gordon couldn't hang on. A hot shot to Dietrich. He bobbled it, and then D. Gordon dropped it. And Don Mattingly might want to take a look at this and see if Gordon was trying to get the ball on the transfer.
Bill Miller took his time making this call. Oh, he never had it. Good call by Miller. That was in the web of his glove, and it flipped out before he ever got his bare hand to it. Another break for Atlanta.
It's a fielder's choice and an E5. And now Don Mattingly is going to talk with Bill Miller some more. Are they going to challenge? Yes, they are.
I hope they do.
Then they'd be out if this call goes the way we think it would go.
Yeah.
So what a funny way to start the game. As you said, the Marlins, one of the best defensive teams in the National League. They bumble their first 2 defensive chances on a couple of ground balls.
Now in slow motion, it might look like, well, he had it in the glove and his foot was on the back, but that was very slow motion. Right here, you're going to see him flip it out of the glove before the hand gets there.
So let's take a look in real speed. And to your point, Joe, Bill Miller, an excellent job to let the play develop before he made his initial call.
Never had it.
If this call goes the way the Braves think it will, they'll have 2 on with nobody out and Freddie Freeman coming up.
I bet it's been rare all season long that they've made errors on consecutive plays. We're about to find out.
And wow,
I don't believe it.
They're going to call him out. That's a head scratcher. And I'm guessing Brian Snitker's going to come out and ask Bill Miller how that can be control and the drop. And Bill Miller just waves Brian Snitker back to the dugout.
Well, and it's not on Bill. Bill called him safe. Bill held it right. Guys in New York are the ones that messed it up.
So I can't.
Maybe they were looking at it in complete slow motion and figured that he had it long enough in the glove. It's brutal.
So fouled away by Freddie Freeman. No error. It's a fielder's choice. NCRT out at second. Freeman batting third on the Toyota starting 9. 2000 hitman Nick Markakis in right. Ozzie Albies at second base with a home run for his first big league hit. Bats 8th. And Freddie didn't get that. No balls, 2 strikes.
Be careful what you wish for, right? I was glad they challenged it because he was safe.
Freeman corks one toward right center field. Onto the warning track, and a leaping grab by Yelich up against the fence. He'll load up a long throw back to first, and Phillips is back safely. Freeman hit it a ton, but a great grab by Yelich right by the Atlanta Braves bullpen bench.
Since this guy moved to center field full time this year, he's been on the highlight reel just about every night. Great range, long strider, timed that perfectly, and able to brace himself.
A gorgeous catch for the second out. So Tyler Flowers, the Braves cleanup man, at 301 with 9 homers. Game-winning home run 2 nights ago here. The pitch is popped up out of play. Well, how about this bottom of the first for some action?
Yeah.
And that's upstairs for an even count.
Ought to be first and third and 1 out.
The 1-1. He is up and away. Again, Conley with a 14 consecutive scoreless innings pitched streak against the Braves on the line tonight. The pitch is popped up out of play.
Tyler's had good luck against the Fish this year. 7 for 22, 2 homers. He's had a good homestand. Capped off by that pinch hit homer that won the game against the Dodgers Game 2.
Nice catch on a nice night. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Conley to first base. As Joe said, R.A. Dickey's pitched really well, but hasn't gotten a lot of run support. Christian Yelich made a great catch to make things tough, and Flowers just got hit by a pitch on a 2-2 count.
It's the 14th time he's been hit. Off the elbow guard.
Tyler got hit 11 times last year, which was the most he had had in a big league campaign. Must be a National League thing. 25 hit batsmen in the last 2 years as a Brave. So 2 on, 2 out for Markakis, and Nick skies 1 foul off the screen. Strike 1. Joe, you had a great call last night for the historic hit for Nick Markakis. It was so perfect and prototypical Nick Markakis.
Yeah, it's like I'd already seen it. I didn't think it was such a big deal because I've seen this play out before.
10th active guy with 2,000 hits in the major leagues. And a shot to Gordon. He missed that. Phillips around third. He's going to try to score. The throw is not in time. The Fish are trying to catch the ball with their fins, not their hands. And then D. Gordon took forever to make a play at the plate, and Atlanta takes the lead.
Well, he double clutched. He picked the ball up and watched to see where Brandon was. By that time, it was too late because Brandon ran through a stop sign and scored anyway. I wonder if that ball was knuckling. And throw to the first base side of home plate. Adam Conley's got to wonder who was playing behind him tonight. This isn't his team.
Well, it's not the jumbo shrimp which play in Jacksonville, and it's not the baby cakes which play in New Orleans.
Right.
It's the Marlins who've coughed up a run. The second error of the inning. One by the shortstop Rojas, one here by D. Gordon. And there could have been a third if the call at second base had been judged correctly by New York. But the baseball gods smiled on the Braves. It was D. Gordon that made the second error, which led to the first run. The Marlins made 2 errors in a game just 3 times all year. It happened in May for them. May was a very, very rough Miami month. Swing and a miss.
Good change up there from Conley. Again, a 3-pitch guy. Fastball, slider, changeup. From that arm angle, low 3/4, good sinking action on it.
And popped up. Tyler Moore drifts out. D. Gordon's there. He's going to catch this one. And that retires the side. Shades of May for the Marlins. They give up a run thanks to 2 errors. There's nothing quite like a July weekend in Cooperstown, New York. And on our SunTrust Confidence Play, you can see the smiling face of John Schuerholz as his Hall of Fame plaque was mounted in the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. John and his lovely wife Karen with the parade, and then they hand you the plaque with Jeff Idelson and Rob Manfred and company in front of all the other Hall of Famers. Has it hit you yet that you are in, as you said, baseball's Valhalla?
I don't know that it has, Chip. It's really heart-stopping, head-spinning, and all of that. The greatest honor I could ever imagine having somebody bestow upon me in this industry, and how proud I am to have received it.
Oh, it was pretty cool. You're right in there between Shane Deanston Seaver. That's not bad company.
Alphabetically, that works for me. I can tell you that. I'm happy to be in there between whomever, and just the fact that I was considered worthy of being put up for election and voted in by the committee, and to be inducted Sunday was just remarkable. Just marvelous, marvelous moment in my life.
I would think when you get the call, there's got to be a great deal of pride, humility, and then maybe a little nervousness, because you don't really know what to expect when you stand on that stage in front of all those people and stand in front of all of those other Hall of Famers, and you get to pour out your heartfelt autobiography about your life in baseball as Nick Markakis makes the catch. Tell us about the emotional ride that this journey has taken you on over the last 6-7 months.
Well, it was quite emotional. It was quite emotional. But when I stepped up to the podium, I felt a calm that I hadn't felt in the 4 days prior. I mean, I just felt like I can do this. I know what I want to say. I have my thoughts organized, and I'm going to present what my life has meant to me, and various aspects of good fortune in my life and divine providence, as I called it, have turned my life to the point where I find myself standing on this stage being inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame. And I felt comfortable doing that. I honestly did.
Came across that way, too. Well done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Aside from what I would assume to be the obvious, seeing your plaque mounted, what was maybe the other highlight of the weekend? What were some of the? Give us a couple of high points.
Well, you alluded to it in earlier here a moment ago. Sitting in waiting rooms to go out on assignment with my other Hall of Famer brethren. Sitting in a room with Sandy Koufax and Bob Gibson and Johnny Bench, and this one and that one, and Whitey Ford, and looking around, and Bud Selig and I would look at each other and sort of shrug our shoulders and said, "Here we are, right in the middle of all this greatness, and we're part of it now." And that's how I felt about it then, and will continue to feel about it until the day I die.
JT Realmuto bangs one to short. Camargo's got it and makes the play for the second out. John, you are such a tremendous ambassador for the Braves. You're obviously a tremendous family man too. I was struck by and touched by all the great video that Gretchen Caney and her staff and Paul Bird got in Cooperstown. Karen's there, Jonathan's there, your grandchildren were there. That had to be incredible for you and your entire family.
True, and our daughter Gina was there too with her beautiful grandchildren, our granddaughters, and her husband, and my extended family, my brothers and my nephews and nieces and friends of mine from college and all around the United States were there. It was just a marvelous time to say thank you to those people and invite them to join in with us. It made it all more special for me to have my family, of course, there, and some really dear and close friends of mine for over 50 years to be there and enjoy it with me.
I think it's cool, too, watching that parade, that the wives were invited to ride with you and enjoy that trip.
Yeah, it was
fun.
fun.
Of the pickup, so I'm happy for Karen too.
Yeah, it was fun, and Karen enjoyed it as much as I did. We saw people in the crowd, if you can imagine that were from our neighborhood, from around here, friends of ours from throughout life, and they're waving and getting our attention, and we picked them out of the crowd. It was a wonderful time. I'm so happy to share it with Karen.
Yeah, you've got the parade thing down. Now we need to get another one here in Atlanta, right?
We do, and that's our guys are working hard at that. John Hart and John Coppola and the scouts and player development people are really busting it and doing a wonderful job, and doing it quickly, I'll say, relatively speaking, for the industry. And there should be a lot of confidence in our community and in Braves country, throughout Braves country, that soon the Braves will be the Braves that we remember and celebrate of that great run in the 90s and beyond. And I think we're getting close to that soon.
Starting in player development, I know you've always had a fond appreciation for young players who come up and do well. I'm loving watching Johan Camargo play shortstop. I'm assuming you are too.
Absolutely. He's got a tool package that plays well at this level, and he's confident. You know, and he feels like he can play here. And Ozzy Albies will start to show you that when he gets more at-bats under his belt and gets his comfort level up. And that's what it's all about, Joe. You know, it's homegrown players is the secret sauce to establishing success at the major league level and sustaining that success. And we did that, Bobby and I, as partners for 17 years in this organization. We did that for a long time because we kept our eye on that ball. Homegrown players, scouting and player development.
That's outside to Derek Dietrich. And so with the pipeline, as John Coppola has called it, beginning to fill with these young players, are you seeing resemblances of the Braves in the late 1980s, early 1990s with the way the farm system is stacking up now in 2017?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same pattern that was in place there. It takes some time to get that pipeline completely filled and to have those that are new to the pipeline pushing the other ones forward and having them matriculate to the major leagues and become valid and productive major league players, not just make a major league roster, but be guys that help you win at the major league level, which is what we had in the past, and we're close to getting that again.
It is certainly exciting to hear. 2 balls, no strikes for Dietrich. That ball skips up there, and the count to him is 3-0. Kind of fun watching R.A. Dickey pitch, isn't it?
It is fun from up here. I mean, you know, as in my speech, in my induction speech, I talked about, you know, playing stickball and wiffle ball. Well, wiffle ball would be the only way you could prepare yourself to face a guy like this of his caliber at this level, and that wouldn't do it even.
3 balls, no strikes, and now 3-1.
This Braves thing at Cooperstown is beginning to be a nice habit.
I got to tell you, a couple of Hall of Famers have said to me and says, well, I guess we're going to have to build our own Braves wing up here in Cooperstown. It's getting to be pretty obvious that's what's going to be necessary. And I'm proud of that. And, you know, all of the legends that have gone on before us from the Braves and the recent great Braves that have gone into the Hall of Fame, and some, I think, 1 or 2 more to come in anytime soon. And so that's a real honor for all of us, and I'm honored to be a part of it.
Well, we all know that the Braves can throw a party.
We're good at parties.
Yeah.
And we started that back in '91, and our, you know, our reputation, it was so great that we had to live up to it, and I think we have.
3-2 pitch is hit high in the air to right field. Nick Markakis will drift back, and he is there, and he's got it. Mr. Sherholtz, Hall of Famer. Congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you so much, Chip.
Incredible
Joe.
weekend at
Congratulations.
Cooperstown.
Thank you, guys.
And when you get to the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, that's what you'll see. John Boland Sherholtz Jr., Hall of Famer and a Brave at heart.
By Academy Sports and Outdoors. For all, for less.
1-0 Atlanta on a beautiful baseball night. We head to the home half of the second inning. The Marlins, with some very sloppy first inning defense, handed the Braves a gift run, and they'll take it against Adam Conley, who finds his 14-inning scoreless streak against the Braves snapped in perhaps the cruelest way possible.
Yeah, without a hit.
Sean Rodriguez pops one up toward Moore in foul ground. Not a lot of it here at the ballpark, but enough to make the catch in front of the rail. And Sean Rodriguez is retired for out number 1 in the second.
It's very rare in baseball that a team is able to muster a run without a hit or walk.
But 3 misplays by the Marlins and a hit batsman thrown in for good measure gives the Braves their 1-0 advantage. Unforgettable night for Ozzie Albies last night. A 3-run homer off Tony Cingrani for his first major league hit. Kind of an interesting coincidence last night. On a night when Albies gets his first major league safety, Nick Markakis, as that one's hit toward right, and Stanton. Nick Markakis got his 2000th hit. Didn't realize it until I read the media guide this morning that Nick Markakis' first major league hit was also a home run.
Was it really?
So I don't know if it's ever happened before that a player whose first big league homer or hit was a homer got his 2000th hit in a game where another player got his first major league hit as a home run. That'll send the stats guys and gals scurrying.
Good thing it's early.
But a cool coincidence last night as R.A. Dickey bats with 2 outs. And he ends up on the seat of his pants after that swing.
That had a little biting action. You can understand how Conley can have some fast innings. I think he is raring to go, and if he's throwing strikes, there's some swings, I guess. Kevin enjoyed that one.
Little roller toward first and foul. Well, that's the old saying, if a pitcher works quickly, your defense had better be on its toes.
Yeah.
Maybe the Marlins weren't ready for Conley's rapid fire stuff in the Braves first. Serve toward third. Dietrich's got it, and he'll crow hop to first, and that ends the inning. On we go to the third. 1-0. Atlanta leads in game 1.
Is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
Beautiful night in Atlanta. Braves lead 1-0, and sometimes things go your way, sometimes they don't. Sometimes in baseball, Joe, you just need a hug.
Yeah. after that swing. Not paid to hit.
He's paid to pitch, and he's pitching well. As I said, last 11 starts, R.A. Dickey's given up 1 earned run or less 7 times, including his last outing against the Phillies, where he gave up an unearned run in 7 innings. But that was the chase the baseball behind the backstop game against the Phillies.
Yeah, we need to talk about that just for a few minutes here. And we've been curious about both Flowers and Suzuki trying to catch Dickey on one knee and wondering what in the world. Okay, it is at the request of R.A. that they get down as low as they can. I talked to Kurt Suzuki at length about this. Get down on one knee, give a low target in an effort to get that strike called at the bottom of the zone. R.A.'s response to them about any pitches that are wide of the plate, he said, don't worry about it, you're not going to catch them anyway. And Kurt said he makes a good point that even if I'm on my feet, a pitch to my right, meaning to the left-handed batter's box, he said it's still going to be hard to try and block or prevent from going by us. So this is, they're catching the knuckleballer on one knee because R.A. wants them to do that.
And I can understand that in this situation. Leading off an inning, nobody's on base. Is that what R.A. Dickey wants the Braves catching core to do with runners on base and in scoring position too?
Apparently, yes.
Interesting.
And that's the one I don't fully understand, because of what can happen to advance runners into scoring position or score from third base. That's the risk you take, because you're kind of, at least in my opinion, placing a real onus on the catchers to do the best you can from this position to keep the ball from getting by you. And the trade-off is hoping to get more strikes called.
Knuckled out towards second. Albies to his left makes the play. Rojas is retired. R.A. is into the 3rd inning with his first out, and that'll bring up Adam Conley, who's 1 for 10.
I mean, in some respects, you think about Tyler Flowers. If Tyler Flowers is just in his normal catcher's crouch, he's a huge guy. He's blocking out the sun for most of the umpires. He's so big. So in a lot of ways, he's given the umpire a better look at these pitches also by taking this position.
So with a knuckleball, a trick pitch that relies on more than just a pitcher's accuracy to be effective, it is a trade-off, isn't it?
Yeah, it definitely is.
No balls, 2 strikes for Conley. And that one didn't stick. Swing and a miss. R.A. Dickey has his 2nd strikeout. And we go back to the top and second baseman Dee Gordon.
The Marlins 3rd in the league in batting average as a team. Middle of the pack in runs scored. They're 10th in homers, 9th in slugging, but 6th in on base percentage because of their high batting average. And their pitchers are 3rd best in the National League at home runs allowed. They don't give up many. Part of that because of their ballpark.
2 outs for Dee Gordon, who takes a strike. Dee Gordon has 35 multi-hit games this year. He's racked up 128 hits. And he's got plenty of company in that triple-digit mark. He'll have to wait to add to his 128 hit total as he rolls out to Freddie Freeman softly. Dickey has an easy 3rd, and the top of the Braves order is coming back up. Mobile app for live Braves baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Braves home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Alumni homecoming weekend here at SunTrust Park. Braves get a gift run in the first inning to lead 1-0. Ender Inciarte's coming up to start the third. And he serves that one into center field for the Braves' first hit. No surprise it comes from Ender Inciarte, Joe, who's hitting over 300 against left-handed pitching this year.
This is a changeup. And sometimes lefties have trouble throwing changeups to left-handed hitters. And you're right, Ender did kind of just serve that one. A little topspin lob.
So Ender's 1 for 2. Here's Brandon Phillips. He hit a sharp ground ball to Derek Dietrich, who bobbled. He threw to second base, a ball that was dropped by D. Gordon. Ender Inciarte was originally called safe on that play. The Marlins challenged the call, and New York said that Gordon had enough control to get the force play at first base.
Well, they were wrong. Must have been looking at it in slow motion. Ender's now hit in 10 straight.
Another chance for Dietrich. That one handled cleanly. Gordon handled cleanly and completes the throw to first. Double play. So Freeman bats with 2 outs, bases empty. He cracked one to the Braves bullpen fence back in the Atlanta first.
The concerns for Adam Conley by the Marlins began in spring training. His velocity had dropped. They had no real reason or anything to hang their hat on in terms of why. And as a result, he got off to that slow start, didn't pitch well at the beginning of the season, and wound up in AAA trying to figure out what was wrong.
Well, you know, Freddie's going to be grumpy. He's hit the ball on the button twice, has nothing to show for it. We head to the fourth.
Inning. Oh, please get that camera off the back of my head. We were talking about Giancarlo Stanton's stances over the years, and they have evolved. And take a look at these over the last 3 years. June of 2015, pretty square. A little bit of an open stance late July last year. And now this year, a drastically changed stance with a more closed approach. and one we saw employ here tonight. He drove the ball deep to left.
He leads off the 4th inning against Dickey and drives one a mile towards center. And Ender just is going to admire that when it hits off the batter's eye in straightaway center field. A long home run for Giancarlo Stanton. We haven't seen one hit that far here yet. That is some ridiculous power.
One that didn't move enough. It just stayed right in the middle of the plate. RA's already kind of shaking his head. My oh my, does he generate some torque with that closed stance. That follow through, that finish after contact looked like the classic slugger home run follow through. I mean, go back and look at Harmon Killebrew or Frank Robinson or any other great home run hitter, and it's kind of what you saw, the pictures, the old pictures of guys. That almost landed up there where the cameras are.
Hit off the background right below the center field camera position here. We've seen balls get hit into the Chattahoochee Falls. We've seen them splash down amongst the evergreen trees out there, but nobody's hit one off the wall until Giancarlo Stanton just did. And fouled off Flowers' mask.
Here's the swing again. Pow, and look at this follow through. Kind of looking up and all the weight transfer there. Great extension. Only a foot or so below that opening where the cameras are.
I can't wait to hear the tail of the tape on that shot. As that one's into the seats left side by Yelich, it's still 0-2. Well, you all know about Giancarlo Stanton. He was hit in the face with a pitched ball a couple of years ago, and you can certainly understand if he had any reluctance at all facing hard throwing right-handed pitchers who would try to buzz him inside and then get him to chase that slider or fastball on the outer half of the plate. I would assume, Joe, that this stance would help Giancarlo Stanton stay locked in and know that he can get out of harm's way if something comes too far inside.
I think that stance from last year was a real indication of how concerned he was about being pitched inside. The open stance, maybe see the ball a little better, but it also kind of opened him up to being hit again. The closed stance, he can turn that shoulder, get out of the way of it, and also serve the purpose he wants, which is to try and stay on breaking balls out away from him and down and away.
Well, I think it's safe to say he's doing that.
Yeah, think about it. He's so big and strong. In a closed stance, you think, okay, well, you can pitch him in, you can tie him up. Oh yeah, well, good luck. Be careful.
No balls, 2 strikes for Yelich, who struck out to end the first inning. And that's taken downstairs, 1-2.
Can't put any marks on the batter's eye, but that's almost worthy of a red seat, you know.
I still think it's a great idea to put the stars on the chop house or tomahawks if you want. I mean, that would have been way out in center field, even down in Miami.
Oh yeah.
That's got to be 450, 460
at least. It was high off the wall.
Popped up. Camargo drifts out and makes the basket catch behind Albies, and Yelich is subdued for the first out.
Consider this. We've seen Ender Inciarte chase home runs and climb the wall and try to go up over and get them. He stopped about halfway to the wall and watched this one.
You know, when Barry Bonds played left field for the Giants, remember when someone would really launch one to left, he would just stand. He wouldn't even turn and give the hitter the courtesy of a look. Ender started, deked everybody, and then just stopped and knew that was in another atmosphere. So here's Ozuna.
This guy can hit him a long way too.
So Arbuckle Jenkins tells us that StatCast, which is the distance provider, you know, the launch angle and all that stuff.
Measurer.
Yeah. They usually have the distance, the velocity, and all that stuff within about 10 seconds after a home run's hit in a major league game. I don't think they have a computer big enough to calculate Stanton's shot. They haven't come back with a number yet. One ball, one strike. Ozuna didn't get it.
Well, it's 400 feet to the straightaway, where that gate is, and to that doorway, that tunnel. That's probably 30 or 40 feet, and then it hit above that, so the trajectory is going to take it even farther.
Right. Well, how far is it here to, say, your house?
About that far.
that was going to be my answer. Wow. Yes, it left a mark. One ball, two strikes. Well, the good news is for Dickey, it only counts for one. And no, that wasn't Stanton's ball.
Moonshot.
Pitch is popped up. And foul ground. Brandon Phillips over near the Marlins dugout. He won't have a play. Ozuna's having a fine year too. 40 multi-hit games for him. There are 5 Marlins for Don Mattingly that are over 100 hits this year. Ozuna has 127. He's hit 25 homers. He's approaching 85 RBIs. And right now, they're averaging over 7 runs a game in their last 8 played. The 2-2. Another pop. And no play. Of course, the Marlins haven't conceded anything yet. They, like the Braves, have a long road towards a potential playoff spot. Got to get to 500 first. They're 51-55. They're 9.5 games out of the second wild card, which is held by the Colorado Rockies. But the challenge for Miami is this is a really banged up club in the early days of August. First, the 2-2 pitch. Justin Bour has an oblique problem. It's going to be about a month, I guess, before he comes back. JT Riddle, their terrific shortstop, tore up a shoulder. He's probably done for the year.
Prado.
Knee surgery. He may be back at some point. But the biggest problem that the Marlins have had is pitching. They lost Edinson Volquez, who's going to have a second Tommy John operation, and his status for next year is in doubt. And he's on the books for about $13 million next season.
All right, he's trying everything he knows, including quick pitching. Ozuna, it's not working. He's fouling off everything.
He drives this one to right. Nick retreats a few steps, and he makes the play for the second out. So Ozuna's played pepper with the Braves right fielder and is 0 for 2. And here's Real Muto. I'm a big fan of this young man, JT Realmuto. Highest batting average and the most hits by any major league catcher. He's hitting .305 at the start of tonight's play, and he's hitting .369 on the road. This one's grounded to short. Margot's got it, And his throw to first is in time. A moonshot indeed for Giancarlo Stanton. Off the batter's eye, just to the left of the 400 sign. Giancarlo Stanton hits his 34th homer. That ties the game 1 apiece as the Braves come up here in the 4th.
Crash Davis's first lesson in Nuke LaLoosh. Don't think, meat. You know what? Adam Conley was just doing that. He called it multitasking. Before he was sent down, he was worried about his mechanics. Then he was worried about trying to get the hitter out in the scouting report. He was second-guessing himself on pitch selection. Then he was worried about the defense, and they said, you're thinking too much. He went down to AAA and tried to simplify the game, go out to the mound and worry about one thing. The result, he's come back and been fantastic in his last 3 starts. Chip and Joe, don't think too much up there. Back to you guys.
Oh, trust me, that doesn't happen.
Well, they've needed pitching. I mean, this is a big find for Miami if Conley can turn into a dependable starter, and he just hit Tyler Flowers again.
Hey, Paul.
I got you.
That home run that Stanton hit. To be honest, I know you gave up a homer or 2. Do you remember the longest one that you gave up?
I do. It's an easy one for me. It was a hanging slider in the vet while pitching for the Phillies to none other than Vladimir Guerrero. I threw in the 2-1 slider and thought I was going to trick him. And that, too, should have had a stewardess on it.
A Braves fan tells me tonight that Tyler Flowers now has been hit by a pitch 15 times this year. Right? Chipper Jones was hit 18 times in his career.
Interesting.
So he's the lead run for Atlanta. Nick Markakis up. And he shoots one towards center. And Yelich makes the catch. Here's Johan. He popped out second. His lone time up.
That's a great Braves fan. That's loyalty right there.
Beautiful lady with a beautiful sign. And rolled foul off the screen. Strike 1 for the Braves shortstop.
That is another biting slider.
No balls, 2 strikes. And time called. And Camargo didn't get that. So Conley has a strikeout and quickly 2 outs.
It's his first strikeout, but boy, those were 2 really good pitches back to back, down and in. Perfect back foot slider.
I was really hoping that Conley was going to take a step forward after a very solid year last year. He pitched in 25 games as a starter. He went 8-6 for a Miami team that finished below 500. Miami was hoping that Wei-Yin Chen, when they signed to a big contract from the Baltimore Orioles, would be a double-digit winner. That didn't happen. He was 5-5 last year and has been hurt for most of this season. Told you about Volquez and his problems. He lost his first 7-8 starts, I think, this year, and then got hurt. So I would assume, Joe, that job number 1 for Miami, if they can keep their offensive core together, is find some more pitching for Don Mattingly.
I'm not kidding you. This guy can make you 0-2 before you blink.
And he is dealing. A second-round pick by Miami, a homegrown player, in a 1-1 game after 4 in Atlanta. Braves got a gift run in the first inning after some sloppy Miami defense. Giancarlo Stanton hit a moonshot home run to straightaway center off the back of the batter's eye for his 34th of the year and a tie game. Ari Dickey back to work in the 5th inning with Moore, Dietrich, and Rojas. Tyler Moore, one of Joe's Ford keys to the game. And Moore's in the lineup because Ari Dickey has had trouble keeping him in the ballpark too. Moore has 3 hits this year against the Braves, 2 of them homers against R.A. Dickey. And he pops this one up right side. Freddie Freeman will give way to Albies, and Ozzie makes the play, 1 out.
Yeah, we've had to change the pronunciation, or what we thought was the correct pronunciation for Ozzie. I think we've been calling him Albies all this time, but he says the correct pronunciation is Albies. So we'll endeavor to do our best to remember that.
Here's Derek Dietrich getting some playing time with Martin Prado hurt, as Joe said. 6 homers, 33 RBIs for Dietrich. One of those homers has come against Atlanta this year.
Georgia Tech baseball grad.
And the tail of the tape.
There's that low strike.
Beg your pardon, Joe. Tail of the tape for the Stanton homer is in. Any guesses?
Oh, I'm going to say 410 because I know how they rip people off on this.
You are sassy tonight. First pitch, and it's just foul. As third.
I'll go 468.
You are very close. 477 feet. The longest home run in this ballpark by 30 feet.
Goodness. 477.
One ball, 2 strikes. And Dietrich looks high. Ball 2, strike 2.
Well, he hits them where other people can't. Which makes him pretty special.
That's out of play. And Dietrich has another swing. Dietrich didn't get it. A swing and a miss. That's 3 strikeouts for RA. And the crafty right-hander gets the first 2 outs here in the top of the 5th.
RA pitched a good ball game down in Miami, but took a loss. On May 14th down there, he got beat 3-1, and he went 7 innings and only gave up 5 hits. Walked 3, struck out 1, and gave up a homer that was decisive to Mr. Moore. Again, not enough run support.
Miguel Rojas rolled out to second his first time up. Swinging the bat early in the count, so I didn't get a chance to fully explain the story I was telling you with regards to Rojas and his manager. Don Mattingly knows that Echeverria has been traded. He knows that JT Riddle is hurt. This is an enormously important time, he said, for Rojas. He's going to be the everyday guy at shortstop and has a chance to show not just the Marlins, but the rest of the major leagues that he can be an everyday player for them or for someone. And since he's come back from a broken right thumb, he's gotten on base in 12 consecutive games. And enters play hitting .324 for the year. 2 balls, no strikes.
Trying to make his mark. If he can play anywhere like another guy named Rojas that used to do radio work for the Marlins, Cookie, he'll be a good player.
The 3-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen. Now a full count.
A little late on that heater at 83.
It's got to frustrate you.
Kind of figure a knuckleball now. The pitcher on deck.
Bang foul past Perry Hill at first. Rojas still alive.
Another fastball. Nice to see our pal Freddie Gonzalez back, coaching third for the Fish. Freddie looks good.
Now the payoff pitch again, and bang toward third, foul. Kind of rare to see a former manager of a team leave and then come back and be a base coach for them. That's the fate for Freddie Gonzalez. After leaving the Braves, went back to Miami, where his parents still live. Jeffrey Loria, of course, the owner of the Marlins. This is his 16th year. He's had 10 different managers in those 16 years, including Freddie Gonzalez. 3-2 pitch is served toward right. Long run. Markakis got an excellent jump and makes the play right in front of the stands, where he makes a friend with the souvenir. 3 up, 3 down for R.A. Dickey. 1-1 game. Last night, his first major league hit, his first major league homer.
What a nice, pretty follow through on that one. That was almost like a follow through of a guy who just popped one up on the infield and is like, oh, well, he didn't miss it.
And he is the subject of tonight's Coors Timeless Moment of the Game, the youngest Braves player since Andrew Jones in 1997 to hit a homer.
First Brave since Evan Gattis to get his first big league hit as a home run. And what was the other note we saw? That he's the first player to hit a home run born in 1997 too.
In all of Major League Baseball.
Right.
What that means? We're getting old.
He'd still be in college, wearing college baseball out.
To third, Dietrich to his left. Fires to first in time. And there's out number 1. Not surprisingly, after Albies hit that home run, when he got to his locker after the game and started scrolling through his messages from friends and family, he said one of the first messages that was on his phone, not surprisingly, was from Andrew Jones.
I'm sure all the Curaçao kids weighed in.
He's having trouble keeping his feet against Adam Conley, which is certainly understandable. This guy's nasty.
See how it skates up there? They may need to bring some drying agent out. It's a little slick in that box.
Driven foul out of play. It's just like that, 0-2.
He's sure entertaining the troops, though.
Away, RA, hang in there. He's knocked in 5 runs this year, so I think he's done a more than respectable job as a hitter. And this one served into the center of the diamond, and it'll be the shortstop Rojas. 2 outs.
See, there was that follow through.
the Albies one.
Yeah.
Well, how come Albies went about 390 feet and Dickey's went about 70?
Just a point of contact. That's all it was.
Wrong launch angle.
Yeah, the follow through is about the same.
2 outs. And by the way, Conley's only given up 1 hit tonight. And that hit belongs to this man, Ender Inciarte.
I got news for you. Dickey's only given up 1 also, and it only counted as 1.
Conley delivers and didn't get the corner. This guy had an ERA over 7.5. Miami sent him back to AAA, and it wasn't just for 1 or 2 starts. They left him down there for 2 months to figure out his mechanics and maybe figure out how to pitch. His last 3 starts at AAA, he went 2-0, gave up only 4 runs. As Gordon ranges to his left, smothers and shoots it to first in time, and that retires the side. Conley continues his masterful work. R.A. Dickey doing the same. Great duel as we head to the 6th, tied 1 apiece.
Into the 6th inning, and welcome into our Braves live set here in the Battery Atlanta. I'm Kelsey Winger with this Xfinity game break. So let's check up on the Nationals, our division leaders. They're visiting the Cubs. Top of the 1st, no score. Daniel Murphy at the dish, and he nails a 2-run shot to right center field off of Kyle Hendricks for his 18th home run of the year. That puts the Nats up 2-0. Now we head to the 6th, same score. Daniel Murphy again, his 2nd home run of the day with the shot to center field for his 19th of the year. The Nats went on to win this one 4-2. Chip and Joe, that new improved bullpen is looking pretty good for him.
It is a big win for Washington, what some say is going to be a playoff preview in the National League. Nationals win round 1 of that series at Wrigley Field today, where it was 63 degrees at first pitch.
No kidding. One of the guys that they got at the deadline got rave reviews from Kurt Suzuki, and that was it Brandon Kinsler?
Yeah, from Minnesota.
From Minnesota. He said he has got really good stuff.
He had 28 saves, I believe, with Twins, as that ball is sliced foul by Conley. So the luxury that the Washington club had was, number one, a big lead in the division. They could wait until the deadline and then pounce, and they added not just Kinsler but Madsen and Doolittle to their bullpen, which certainly helps in depth, experience, and effectiveness for Washington. Out of play, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes still for Conley. So Kinsler not the only Twin that got moved. Jaime Garcia was traded, you might recall, again. As this one's hit toward short and through. Conley with a 2-strike leadoff hit. Former Brave Jaime Garcia starting tonight for the Yankees. It is his 3rd start for his 3rd team in a span of 15 days. That has never happened before.
No.
A pitcher starting for 3 teams in a span of 15 days in the history of the game. And it's not gone well. Cleveland's leading the Yankees 6-1 tonight.
Sonny Gray got beat last night.
So let's see what Miami does with D. Gordon. Conley, the pitcher at first, and D didn't get it.
That was a bit of a surprise to me at the deadline, is that more starting pitchers weren't moved, and Urban Santana comes to mind right away because his name was mentioned like the middle of June as a candidate for a lot of teams. He's still with the Twins. Had a complete game win last night or the night before.
I want to ask you about that. Last year the Indians got to the American League Championship Series, won it, and of course lost to the Cubs in the World Series. Andrew Miller was one of, if not the most valuable pitcher on that Cleveland team. The way the Indians and the Cubs use their bullpens in the playoffs. First the pitch, which is corked right toward Ozzie at second base. He'll make the play for the first out. Bullpen usage as opposed to starting pitcher usage. In the playoffs, you might use your starter for 3 innings or 4 innings like Joe Madden did in Game 7, and then pray your bullpen's got enough gas to get the game won. Is that, you think, a reason why fewer starting pitchers went at the deadline?
It's reasonable. I don't know, but it sounds kind of as a follow-up to that from last year's postseason. Plus, those guys not just relieving their starters so quickly, but also any jams the starters got into in the 5th inning, they were going to people like Miller right away. They weren't saving them for the 8th, 7th or 8th inning.
What'd you say last night is a rally in playoff baseball?
A walk.
A high fly ball crushed by Stanton again. This one's going to go way out to left field. A multi-homer game for Giancarlo Stanton, who is putting on a show in Atlanta tonight. New stance, new results. The Braves have always given him fits. Giancarlo has squared up 2 balls that are flat on one side tonight.
Boy, that weight shift, hitting against a firm front side, generating tremendous bat speed. That one went higher than it did far.
So Stanton has his 8th multi-homer game of this year. And the Fish lead 3-1. And during this hot run, they have been hitting home runs at a furious pace. 14 of them in their last 9 games.
Home runs to that guy are going to happen. The base hit to the pitcher was not something planned in front of him.
2 strikes for Yelich. Here it is. Stanton's tired. That home run he just hit only 424 feet. after a 477-foot blast. Back to the mound. RA's got it on the front slope and fires to first. Yelich is 0 for 3, 2 outs. Here's Ozuna. He's fouled off a bunch of pitches tonight, but he's flied out twice. 25 homers, a career high. He's 1 RBI from a career high tying 85th. And that one way high, ball 1. It wasn't so long ago that there were some who thought Marcell Ozuna was on his way out of Miami. Remember, they sent him back to AAA 2 years ago. And they sent him to New Orleans for about a month before bringing him back. And then last year came back with a vengeance with Barry Bonds as the then Marlins hitting coach. It was said Ozuna benefited the most from Bonds' tutelage. He had 23 homers. 266, and that one got a piece of RA. He knocks it down, recovers, and throws to first, and that takes care of Ozuna and the Marlins, but not before Conley singled and Stanton hits another tape measure homer to put Miami in front 3-1 after 5.5. Down the Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves, brought to you by Kaiser Permanente. R.A. Dickey and Adam Conley squaring off in the series opener this weekend. Only 4 hits so far between the two clubs, 2 of them though by that man Giancarlo Stanton, who has hit about 900 feet worth of home runs in his last 2 at bats. A solo shot and a 2-run homer that just put Miami in front as we head to the bottom of the 6th inning. Brandon Phillips will lead off.
He was very outspoken at the trade deadline at what the Marlins did and didn't do in an effort to make their team better. He said same old story.
They traded A.J. Ramos to the Mets. As this one's poked up the middle off the end of the glove of D. Gordon, who couldn't corral it. And Brandon Phillips aboard for a second time. And Freddie Freeman's coming up. He's got a chance to tie the game with 1 swing.
Good start to the inning. About time for the Braves to have a big inning.
Freddie almost hit a homer in the first and got buzzed by Conley there. Ball one. He also lined out to short. Last night, Freddie passed Ralph Garr for 8th place all time on the Atlanta Braves hit list. Next up is Jeff Blauser. Jeff had 1,060 hits with the Braves. Freddie's 36 behind him. Popped up. Rojas drifts out. Ozuna comes in. And the Marlins left fielder makes the shoulder high catch to retire Freddie for the first out. If Conley wants to save some time, he can go ahead and put Flowers at first base instead of hitting him.
Well, or not pitch him inside.
2 hit by pitch sequences for Conley with the Braves catcher. This guy has excellent stuff tonight. He is a different guy, and this is more of the same, I guess, for the Braves. Every time we see Conley pitch against Atlanta, he deals. He has never lost to the Braves. A 3-0 record, a sub-2 ERA. Nice stop by Real Muto.
He left to go to AAA. His ERA was 7.53. He's already lowered it to 5.11.
Sharply hit, and Rojas can't corral it. That's a hit for Flowers.
Slider stayed up, wasn't able to bury it down and in, and Tyler hit it hard. And with the Marlins playing up the middle for a potential double play ball, Rojas not able to get over to his backhand side and get it.
So the right guy at the right time. Nick Markakis, 11 hits in his last 25 at bats. And his good work is our Georgia Lottery jackpot feature tonight.
.478 average over that period of time, has his average back up to .284. Came into the game 12 for 30 with a homer against Miami.
One ball, no strikes. Right there evens the count. Phillips and Flowers have hits. Markakis will try to join the parade. Fly ball slicing. And that is into the seats down the left field line. And it's 1-2. Big night tonight for the Dodgers. They've got Yu Darvish pitching in New York. And the Dodgers are beating up on Jacob deGrom tonight. That's 5-0 Los Angeles. deGrom had a loss in his last start, if memory serves, after rattling off 6 or 7 in a row in the win column. Ahmed Rosario making his home debut for the Mets, and the Dodgers, as you know, having a special year, on pace to win 114 games this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Dodgers have already hit 3 homers.
Really?
Chris Taylor, shocker, Utley, and Puig.
The 1-2.
Darvish throwing a 3-hit shutout with 7 strikeouts in 5 innings.
It's going to be a pretty salty starting 3 for the Dodgers if Alex Wood keeps pitching like he has this year, and if Kershaw can come back for the final month.
And Maeda pitched a real good game here the other night.
Did he ever? 1 ball, 2 strikes, 3-1. Miami the lead. Rojas trying to keep Phillips a step or 2 closer to the second base bag.
Real Muto behind the plate, a real scrapper. Quick, like an infielder, moves like an infielder. Good throwing arm, throwing out 32% of base stealers, which is incredible these days.
Upstairs for Nick, full count. Let's see what the Braves do with a payoff pitch from Markakis. They hold, and a high fly ball bound to right field. That ball is gone. Right guy at the right time. A hot hitter delivers. Nick Markakis with a 3-run homer, and the Braves are in front 4-3.
And didn't miss a 3-2 pitch. That was right there for him. That took no time getting out of here.
And a great catch in the chop house, as Nick Markakis has his 6th homer. 3 runs on 3 hits. Somebody ought to give that guy a contract, as they used to say in Baltimore. Nice grab. Now R.A. Dickey has gotten some run support. He's gotten the lead now, as Camargo bangs one to the left side out of play. 2 balls and a strike.
Hope R.A.'s all right. He got nailed with that line drive. Top half of the inning for the last out.
Camargo just stood stock still in the back of the batter's box with the bat on his shoulder as Conley made that pitch.
I don't think he asked for time. I mean, now he is. Give him time to get set.
Gordon let the ball play him. It's under his glove and into right field.
For the best fielding team in baseball, they put on a very poor exhibition on their infield.
I couldn't agree more. They've had 4 or 5 plays that ought to have been made, and you can see the visible frustration of Adam Conley. Hands at his side, glove dangling by his right thigh. He's just looking on in disbelief.
Yeah, giving ground on that one. You're asking for trouble. It's like a base hit. No ruling yet. Well, they only had one hit before this inning, and now they've got 5 on the scoreboard, so I'm going to go with that.
There you go. Here's Rodriguez. Ball 1 for the Braves left fielder, who's popped out and struck out tonight.
Sean could use a couple of base hits. I wonder if that's because RA got nailed with that line drive. Jose Ramirez is up.
Stuff might be tightening up for R.A. Dickey on the Braves dugout bench. We'll have to wait and see. 2 balls, no strikes. And up and inside. All B's on deck. 4-3. Atlanta has the lead. And Rodriguez took a strike on a 3-0 pitch. Ball 4.
Let's take another look at that line drive by Ozuna and see if we can find out where it hit R.A. Dickey. It hit him solid because it stopped right off the calf. Under the glove and off the calf or shin. Able to recover, but I'll bet that's barking now.
So Adam Conley's going to be taken down by Don Mattingly as the Braves touch him for 3 runs, 4 hits. But in fairness to Adam Conley, the Marlins defense was rather offensive in game 1 tonight.
You by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Adam Conley surrenders 3 runs on 4 6th-inning hits. The Nick Markakis 3-run homer, a big blow that puts Atlanta in front. Tough breaks for Conley, who gave up just 5 hits in his 5 and 1/3 worth of work tonight. So he turns it over, Joe, to Dustin McGowan, who's been excellent this year for the Fish.
Boy, he's picked up some wins, hasn't he? All out of the bullpen. 7-1, 2.77 ERA, mid-90s fastball, slider, and change.
Ozzie pops up the first pitch over near the Marlins on deck circle, and no play. McGowan leads the Marlins bullpen in ERA, wins, and innings pitched. His 7 victories in relief are a career high. That's tied for the 4th most in single season Marlins history.
Big guy, born in Savannah. 6'3", 240. Long County High School. I'm not sure how to say this town. Ludowici? Ludo.
Is it Ludowici?
That's it.
Ludowici.
Yeah.
Ground ball to second. Gordon will flip to Rojas. He glides across the bag, and that retires the side. Atlanta gets 3 in the 6th inning. Nick Markakis' first big league hit was a homer. His last big league hit to this point is also a homer. This one puts Atlanta in front, and we're off to the 7th. Alumni homecoming weekend is underway here in Atlanta. Jeff Treadway, Brian Hunter, Marty Perez, Charlie Liebrand, Sid Bream, of course, among so many back with us. Of course, fans brought the Sid Bream slide bobblehead to get an autograph before the game. Got the home run hitting contest here tomorrow. And that leads us to tonight's Toyota Tweet of the Week. Our question is, which former player do you most look forward to seeing at the ballpark this weekend? Tweet us at Fox Sports Braves using the hashtag #GreatnessReturns, and your tweet could be used in the Braves live postgame show.
I think that young man was casting his ballot right there for Dale Murphy. It's interesting that Sid slid bobblehead. Randy Marsh was in the ballpark just a couple of days ago, who was the umpire for that call at home plate. Jose Ramirez is on quite a roll. An 0.69 ERA over his last 14 games. That's 1 run in 13 innings. In his last 4 games, he has 9 strikeouts and 1 hit allowed over a total of 5 innings.
Different composition for the Braves bullpen tonight, as Real Muto pops one up to right field, and Nick Markakis is there. 1 out. Braves did make a roster move today. Jason Mott activated off the disabled list from his upper back problems. That's the good news. The bad news is Ian Kroll had to go to the DL with an oblique problem. So Mott takes Cole's place in the Braves bullpen on the active roster. Here's Tyler Moore. He's walked and popped out tonight. He was one of Joe's Ford keys for R.A. Dickey tonight. R.A. walked him in the second. Moore hit a soft pop-up. And he is bringing it. Is Mr. Ramirez. 0-2 the count. Line toward left. Rodriguez on the run. He got there. And Tyler Moore is retired on an 0-2 pitch. 2 outs. Tonight the Braves are leading 4-3. They're trying for their 50th win. They didn't pick up win number 50 last year until the final day of August. So as far as the calendar is concerned, the Braves to this point are far ahead of last year's pace. Hopefully nothing seriously wrong with R.A. Dickey, who left after 6 innings of 3-hit 3-run ball. But he leads by 1. And rolling away to Dietrich. 1 ball, no strikes. Rifled into right field, and Markakis plays that on a bounce.
I mean this with the utmost respect for R.A. because anyone who's pitching in the big leagues at age 42, that's mighty impressive. But also coming along with that at age 42, you get nailed by a line drive. That's going to stiffen up real quick. You're not 22 anymore. So I hope he's okay.
Miguel Rojas bats. He is 0 for 2. Braves trying to cool off Miami, a red hot team coming to town. They've won 4 straight series in 6 of their last 8 games. They're starting a short road trip after they finish off this series with the Braves. They head up to Washington to start a 4-gamer.
They just got through beating the Nats in a series in Miami. In fact, the Fish have won 4 straight series.
That caught a corner. The only win that Washington got was the near no-hitter by Gio Gonzalez, who's going to miss his next start for the Nationals, along with Max Scherzer. Scherzer with the neck problem, but it's a happy miss for Gio Gonzalez. He and his wife are going to welcome their 2nd child in the next few days, so he'll get some extra rest for Dusty Baker. 0-2, and a little low for Rojas.
That base hit by Dietrich, a pretty rare sight too for a left-handed hitter off of Ramirez. They were just 5 for 33 against him for the year until that hit.
Two. The ageless wonder, Ichiro Suzuki, I believe, has grabbed a bat and stands on deck. It's too bad that Dickey's not still in the game with a chance to face Suzuki. That would be a matchup of the 2nd and 3rd oldest active players in the major leagues, with Bartolo Colon. Guy's still a hitting machine. Don't want to see him up with runners in scoring position here. See if Ramirez can finish off Rojas and get us to the stretch. To short. Camargo's got it, and his throw to first is right on the money, and then it takes care of Miami. Stretch time at the ballpark in Atlanta. 4-3 Braves lead it.
Be the ace of a staff, because when you go out there, you better win, because you don't know when your team's going to win again. But when you're surrounded by aces, what we did as a group, individually, it motivated each of us to go out there and be our best every single night, every single season.
That's a sneak peek of a great conversation that we had with John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, and Greg Maddux up in Cooperstown.
I love it when that happens. It's such a rarity for all three of them to be together, and for Gretchen and the crew to get that done is quite remarkable. It just wonderful TV, isn't it?
Great TV.
Love hearing them talk among themselves.
Good inning for Jose Ramirez. Lane Adams grabs a bat. He'll pinch hit for Atlanta in the 7th. And we invite you to stick around after the Braves hit here in the 7th inning. During our extended break, you'll hear much more from the Braves' Big Three in Cooperstown. Right there for a strike. Wind starting to blow from right to left for Adams. He takes downstairs. 3 balls and a strike. This is a spot where you might have seen Matt Adams for the Braves, but he's been bothered by migraines the last couple of days. So it's Lane Adams against the right-handed pitcher. He fouls that one off his foot for a full count.
He said the dizziness was a byproduct of that. Not good.
Crowd of over 35,000 here tonight. 35,914 to be exact. Smoked over third and down the line, a fair ball. That'll bounce off the fence. And Adams picking him up and putting him down. He stands at second with a leadoff pinch hit double.
I know the guy made a real bad base running blunder last night, but there's not a whole lot I enjoy more than watching that guy run. And when he hits one down the line like this, I don't even watch to see where the ball goes. As soon as it's fair, I go right to him, because he can eat up some ground.
Don't go too far.
He was not taking any chances of leaving that bag. Throw wasn't even coming into second base.
No. So that's all for McGowan, who goes 2/3 of an inning, allows a hit. No walks or strikeouts. Miami goes ever deeper into its bullpen. Harlan Garcia is going to be the new pitcher. We'll tell you about him when we come right back. Insurance. As they bat in the bottom of the 7th inning, it is Harlan Garcia, who's in his 4th game for the Marlins against the Braves this year.
Happy anniversary. Garcia's been good his last 4 outings. No runs allowed. A couple of strikeouts. There are his numbers for the year. 172 against left-handed hitters, 94 to 96 fastball, slider, and a changeup. And brought in to face a lefty, Ender Inciarte, who's 1 for 3.
That hit came against a lefty, Adam Conley, who gave up 5 hits in 5 of the 3rd innings. Miami in at the corners, thinking Ender might try to bunt. He did try to bunt and bunted through the pitch.
Garcia has stranded 26 of the 33 inherited runners he's received this year, and that's 9th best among National League relievers.
A 1 pitch. Swinging that time. Ender didn't get it. Garcia, rated by Baseball America's Prospect Handbook as the 6th best prospect in the Marlins organization. He grew up playing soccer, didn't pick up a baseball until he was 15 years old. His friends and a coach in the Dominican Republic convinced him to try baseball. A swinging bunt back to the mound, no advance. And there's the first out. The interesting part about Garcia, who now stands at 6'3", 215 pounds. When he was 15 years old and tried baseball, he was 5'7". He grew 7 inches before he signed with Miami.
No kidding.
And here he is. So Ender can't get Adams to 3rd base. Let's see if Brandon Phillips can bring him home. He's scored twice tonight.
Not tonight. He's not taking too big a lead tonight. In fact, he played that swinging bunt by Ender very conservatively so as not to make another out unnecessarily.
Way high for Phillips. 1 ball, no strikes. Into this season, Garcia had pitched in 108 minor league games. Excuse me, 108 minor league games, and showed pretty good control. Most of that work was as a starting pitcher. Now out of the bullpen with the big league club. The pitch all the way to the backstop. That's going to ricochet back into fair territory, and Lane Adams makes third on a very wild pitch.
Off the bricks back there. Even Real Muto couldn't haul that one in, and it came off the bricks so hard he couldn't even catch the carom.
Now the infield comes in for Miami, and Phillips way ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes.
Runner at third, less than 2 outs. This is when I was just hoping to get something that I could elevate and hit a fly ball on.
Excellent arms in the Miami outfield. Ozuna with 7 assists stands in left. The pitch. Phillips a little late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. So now it's 2-2.
Way to go, Dad. Woohoo. Young man was ready. Wristband, glove, face paint.
Let's see, where's my ball, Dad? Hand it over. 2-2 pitch. Line to left field. Atlanta has a 5-3 lead.
He sped up his bat, Chip. Threw those hard fastballs. Brandon couldn't get around on him. So he speeds up his bat, throws him an 88-mile-an-hour slider. And Brandon turned on it beautifully. .39th RBI.
He's had an excellent night hitting second again for the Braves. Let's see if Freddie Freeman can add a couple more here. Freddie's 0 for 3 tonight. We got Phillips picked off with a good throw. So 2 are out. On the 1-3-6 caught stealing. But the important play, the RBI hit to extend the lead.
Thought he might catch Garcia napping, and he didn't. Little redemption for Lane Adams tonight, too.
He pulls it foul. 2 balls and a strike. Right through the wickets of the ball boy down the right field line.
That might be the first error of the year.
Could be. Oh, somebody's giving it to him. 2-1 pitch.
Good breaking ball there.
Struck him out of the outside corner, and that retires the side. Atlanta gets some insurance. It's a 5-3 lead as we head to the 8th inning. As we celebrate the 8th annual Braves Alumni Weekend with legends of the past, let's get a quick glimpse into the minds of the Braves' Big Three on one of the biggest free agent signings in Braves franchise history.
Offseason between 91 and 92, John Sherholtz has a chance to get Barry Bonds or Greg Maddux. Did he make the right choice?
I know exactly where I was, sitting in my bed watching, I think, the news at 11:45 whenever the sports came on, and saw that we got Greg, and I could not believe it. I remember sitting up and going, we are going to the next level. I remember where I was, just getting that news and going, yes, another golfer.
Barry golfs, don't he? Plays golf. Bet he hits it far, too.
But he couldn't golf as much as pitchers do.
Rumor has it you were on a plane heading to New York and you got a call and it
Absolutely.
changed your whole career path.
Yeah, it was actually before cell phones. Originally, I wanted to play in Atlanta. John asked me to give him some time to do what he had to do to make room for me. Called me up a week or 10 days later, said, didn't work out, do what you got to do. Went to New York, spent a couple days, had a layover in Chicago. Braves were back in the picture, and by the time I landed back in Vegas, it was done.
It's amazing to think how the twists and turns of a negotiation back in those days before the instant communication we have now might have dramatically changed the fortunes of this Atlanta Braves franchise without Greg Maddux being a part of it.
I think I was kind of like John Smoltz. I was in disbelief. I could not believe that they were able to pull that off and put him in with a pitching staff that was already outstanding. But to add him to that stable was incredible. And this city, I mean, this city went crazy when they found out they were getting the '96 Olympics. It was kind of that way when they got Greg Maddux.
What's your fondest memory of Greg Maddux as part of that trio of great Braves pitchers?
It's hard. I mean, there were so many great games. It would be hard to put your finger on just one. But I would say just the model of consistency year in and year out, and how fun he was to watch every night, dominate people and do things that I had never seen anybody do before.
And without a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
He was a pitcher.
He sure was, and a great one at that. Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, kind enough to join us in Cooperstown as Ichiro shoots one toward the gap in right center. That's how the Marlins reserve greets Jim Johnson, who's on to pitch the 8th inning tonight.
Fastball right there, and he jumped on it. First pitch. Jim's work has been real good since moving out of the closer role. 2 outings against the Dodgers on this homestand. An inning and 2/3, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts.
That's Ichiro's 18th pinch hit this year. That's more than anybody else in the big leagues. And 3 away from Ross Glode, who had 21 pinch hits for the Marlins back in 2009. So he's only 20 hits away now from Cap Anson for 21st on the all-time hits list in the North American Major Leagues. Now trouble afoot with D. Gordon, who pops one up to right. And Markakis puts the squeeze on that. There's out number 1. As you know, Jim was taken out of the 9th inning role for the Braves in Philadelphia. Very slowly, Brian Snitker has worked him back into action in the 7th inning. Now in the 8th inning. And if there has been a trend for the Braves relief pitcher, it's his outing often is determined by whether or not he gets that first hitter retired.
Maybe tonight he can start putting to rest that troubling statistic.
The danger here is he's got to face Giancarlo Stanton, who's hit 2 mammoth home runs. And Anthony's a strike. Stanton's only 1 for 7 against Jim Johnson head-to-head. And 0 away, ball 1, strike 1. And swept away. Ball 2. Didn't get it. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That had some late action on it.
Struck him out of the outside corner.
Beautiful pitch. Jim shook off 2 signs and wanted the fastball away, and boy, he planted it right on the corner. Look at that. That ball had some action. That was a little Greg Maddux-like action coming back.
Nicely presented by Tyler Flowers behind the plate. So after the hit, a fly out and a strikeout brings up Christian Yelich. He's 0 for 3. And that's foul at first. Strike 1 for the Marlins center fielder. Marlins led 3-1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. Nick Markakis with a 3-run homer put Atlanta in front. Brandon Phillips with an insurance run scoring single in the 7th. And Jim and Flowers want to make sure. High fly ball toward left. Sean Rodriguez takes a peek at the fence. At the edge of the track, he's got just enough room. And Jim Johnson does put that leadoff man issue to rest, at least here in tonight's 8th inning. as you can see on our Xfinity cam. And it's time for a live look in from our Xfinity cam from high above right field. Braves fans, Delta Airlines presents a free MC Hammer post-game concert Saturday, August 19th. When the Reds come to town, get your field passes for $10 each today. Go to Braves.com/MC Hammer and be a part of the party. This is Drew Steckenrider. He's been up and down between Miami and New Orleans 4 separate times.
I know you wanted to say Steppenwolf, didn't you?
I did. Get your motor running.
94 to 97 fastball. The rest is inconsequential. 16 punch outs and 11 1/3, but lefties have knocked him around.
Steckenrider, the 24th rated Marlins prospect out of Tennessee. Miami took him in the 8th round in 2012. And like so many of today's modern pitchers, had to go through Tommy John surgery in 2013. It took him 18 months to come back. Last season at Jupiter, Jacksonville, and New Orleans, he pitched in 40 games, 52 innings, 25 hits.
You know, that 18-month recuperation period used to be kind of standard operating procedure, but with new techniques and new rehab procedures, they're kind of speeding that up a little bit.
So much so that you're almost surprised when you hear a player not successfully come back from the Tommy John surgery. Now there are guys having 2 of them, like his teammate Edinson Volquez will have to do. Drew was born here in Atlanta. Played at Greater Atlanta Christian School in Norcross.
Did he?
And on to Tennessee. 6'4", 238 pounds, the pitch. Tonight's hitting hero is on deck. Nick Markakis with a 3-run homer in his last at bat. Braves lead 5-3. Sloppy Miami defense gave Atlanta an early run. And Flowers didn't get it. He's retired. 1 away in the 8th.
Real easy delivery and arm action to get 95 and 96 out of it. Big blow of the night from this guy.
6th home run for Nick, 53rd RBI. And 2 homers, 9 RBIs against the Fish so far this year. Braves are hoping for another well-pitched game here tomorrow night. Mike Fultonevich gets the ball in game 2. Dan Straley will pitch for Marlins. Straley's a name that was out there at the trade deadline.
Here's the home run if you missed it. 3-2 count. Fastball in. Chop house. Nice catch, sir. Nice seats right there.
Fly ball toward Ozuna in left, and he'll play. 4 out number 2. So Johan Camargo's coming up. Camargo's 1 for 3. In the Miami ninth, Ozuna, Real Muto, and Moore are the scheduled hitters for the Marlins.
And Arodys Vizcaíno, who was so good getting that save a couple of days ago, will be ready for tonight's.
That was one of the more emotional, fist-pumping finishes to a game by a Braves reliever in a while. He was really excited, taking care of Los Angeles here 2 nights ago. See how it works out. Braves are up 2. That one's off the plate to Camargo. 2 balls and a strike.
If anything, Steckenrider really telegraphs that change up and his slider. He slows everything down and slows his arm action down. But that fastball's got life.
Now the 2-2 pitch is caught on and missed. There is that 95-mile-an-hour heat. That finishes the Atlanta 8th, and we head to the 9th inning. The Braves are 3 outs away from a Friday night win at home. Tonight's Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. A couple of big league superstars had some terrific news today.
Well, for Jose Altuve, if you hit almost 500 in a month, I think you deserve Player of the Month. Nolan Arenado, a great month himself. Didn't vote for him. Voted for Kurt Suzuki with all the damage he did with his homers. But congratulations to both gentlemen.
And we'll be running into Nolan Arenado on the next road trip. Danny Santana's going to check in and play left field. Arodys Vizcaíno will come on and try to earn the save. He'll have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up for Miami. Ozuna is 0 for 3 tonight and is 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts against Arodys in his career.
Exactly the same score the other night when Arodys came in against the Dodgers, and he came in pumping fastballs. Struck out Grandal to end the game and was very excited about that.
Swinging bunt. That's tough play. And it's going to be an infield hit for Ozuna. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate. That's got to drive you crazy. You make a good pitch. The guy hits the top half of the ball, beats it into the ground, and it just dies and rolls to a spot where no one can get to it.
Big swing, slow roller, tough break for Vizcaíno.
So that is his first career hit with Braves reliever on the mound. Here's Real Muto. Dangerous man. Top batting average in the league on the road at .369. He's been quiet tonight. 0 for 3. No balls and a strike. Mashed foul to the left side. 0-2. Little pop into center. That'll be playable for Ender, who had to move maybe 3 steps. So Real Muto 0 for 4. He's the first out of the 9th inning. And Tyler Moore's coming up.
With the injury to Bohr, it really weakened their bench because Moore was always such a good pinch hitter, provided them some pop off the bench. They've already used Suzuki, who's a good guy to use leading off an inning. And the rest of their bench is Mike Aviles, A.J. Ellis, and Tomas Telis.
Another chance in center for the former Mississippi State star. And Ender takes care of Tyler Moore, and the Braves are out away from a Friday night win. It's Derek Dietrich standing in the way. This guy's a dangerous hitter. Dietrich's done some damage to the Braves in his career. Said a former star at Georgia Tech. Dietrich has hit 5 homers against the Braves in 116 big league at bats. Upstairs, ball 1. Missed a corner.
But just like 2 nights ago, it's coming out of his hand nicely. He's airing it out.
The 2-0. Right there, a strike. Took a little off, and Dietrich took it. Pretty pitch.
Yeah, I don't know if he was trying to back off that slider a little bit or not, but that worked out beautifully.
So now this big Atlanta weekend ready to get off to a rip-roaring start with 1 more strike. And Dietrich will see another. Vizcaino ready. Dietrich awaits. Here it is. And it's outside. Don't want to walk him.
Like a two-seamer attempt, and lost the grip. Same off-speed breaking pitch he threw a minute ago.
There goes, and it missed, and Dietrich walks. So the tying runs are aboard for Miami, and Rojas is going to be the Marlins hitter.
He does have another left-hander on the bench, left-handed hitter, switch hitter, and that would be Tomas Telis, who's one of the catchers. Aviles and Ellis both right-handed. Good strike one.
Rojas 0 for 3 tonight. Popped up, but Flowers won't have a play.
It was a hit 0-1. The thing about the outfielders, in the event of a base hit, your play is only concerning the guy at first base. He's the only runner that matters at the moment. He's the tying run. So there's no effort to try to throw the guy out at home. No reason to. Just keep that guy at first from advancing.
No balls, 1 strike. Is on deck in case Rojas reaches. Ground ball to third. Phillips has it. He'll go the short way to second, and the Braves have beaten Miami on a beautiful Friday night. 5-3. That's your final score. Nick Markakis with a big 3-run homer off Adam Conley finally hands him his first defeat against the Braves. Vizcaino saves it for R.A. Dickey, who picks up his first win since late June. Great start to the weekend. We'll recap it for you from SunTrust Park in a moment.